Thanks again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be talking about Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Emily Wenzel. This is the first in a new series by this author. So, what I think is really interesting is not only is it a young adult fantasy, so it's focusing on this new subgenre called xianxia. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. I tried to look up the pronunciation, no luck. So it's this new subgenre of fantasy that is not just about Chinese mythology, but it also wraps into it Buddhism, Taoism, ancient Chinese remedies, folklore, alchemy, a whole bunch of stuff relating to Chinese culture. And I really think that that's really interesting because I've seen all these elements separately in different mediums, television or books, or even movies. So I've seen them I've seen them separately, in different mediums. So to see them kind of wrapped up together to form the magic system, because it is the magic system of the last kingdom, Lan and Zen's kingdom, of their home. It's the foundation of their magic system. So I think that that's really interesting because you're really seeing a difference between the two magic systems. You have the Atlanteans, and their magic system is very cold and impersonal. They draw their magic from metal that they wear, and they don't really work in tandem with nature and the elements and, the five elements, whereas with the last kingdom, their magic system is all derived from, their chi and drawing from the earth what they need and using their own chi as well for the magic. So it works in a nice harmonious balance, what their magic system is all about, balance. And I thought that that was really interesting to see these two different magic systems, but I really liked the practitioners Zen's magic system, and the chi and dealing with the four elements as well as the five elements, as well as the four demon gods. So I think that that's a really good foundation for the story because it is a story about colonialization. I don't know why that word keeps tripping me up, but it does. The Atlanteans are invaders. They invaded, they took over, and they implemented their own culture. So they are slowly erasing the culture of this native world, of this native land. And it's really sad. And you're also seeing it through the characterization, how it affects people differently. Characterization is key for this story because through Lan and Zen, we are really understanding the magic system as well as how this kingdom fell. So the last kingdom came about after a civil war. The emperor wanted pretty much the power for themselves. I don't want to ruin it because the history is important for the story, and I do like the way that Zhao trickles in the history throughout the story. It's not all at the beginning. There are, right when you open, short paragraphs dedicated to highlighting the different eras of the kingdoms. A timeline. 2 pages, about 6 paragraphs, if memory serves correctly. It's really interesting. And to see Zhao really focus on building up the rise and fall of each of these throughout the story, because she's connecting it to the magic system. She's connecting it to the 4 demon gods. She's connecting it to why the Atlanteans were able to invade and take over in the way that they did. You would think that this kingdom that had access to so much magic would have been able to prevent this fall, but no, they fell, and they fell quite hard, leading to the erasure of their own culture for the most part. Their names are simple, and the characters do remark about how their names change. They no longer have the names that they were born with because they were too complicated for the Atlantean tongues. That's just aggravating. But you're seeing it through the way that these characters are just struggling to survive. And I really do like the characterization. I will say that first quarter of the book, it is really slow, and I wasn't wholly invested in who these characters were. Their personalities were really stiff. You know, they were kind of stiff. But as you're seeing their progress through the journey, you're just like, oh, it's stiff because they're just kind of going through the motions. You know, they're just trying to survive. They really don't have much of a purpose in the beginning of the story. Whereas once they find each other, they discover, you know what, we have a purpose. Let's try to solve this mystery together. And they form a friendship, and then they form a romance. And it's really quite heartwarming to see. I think the romance was a little bit of a stretch, I will say, but I did like it because it really did strengthen up those character dynamics for me, and it was sweet, you know? These are two characters who have suffered a lot, and sometimes they can be annoying, not gonna lie, but they have found a purpose together. But by the time they end, their paths do diverge. One's path goes more towards darkness and vengeance, and the other path, while driven by vengeance at its core, there's hope there. There is hope to free their kingdom from these invaders while also carrying on their parents' work. There's a lot that they unveil. There's a lot of secrets, a lot of magic, a lot of history that these two characters uncover together that lead to a lot of really good moments in the plot. And that ending was kind of jaw-dropping. I really want to see where the author's going to take the sequel to it, because I really did think it was engaging enough to keep me hooked. Like I said, that first quarter of the book was a little slow, but if you can get past the first quarter, you're going to be golden, honestly. I think the first quarter is the first 13 chapters. The first 10 to 13 chapters, I believe. So once you can get past that, I think you're going to be golden. I think you really are going to appreciate the story that Zhao has here. And again, that magic system is critical. It's key for this story. And it's unique to me. It was unique to me because I don't think I've read anything like that before. To see all these elements brought together in such a way made it really engaging for me as a reader. So I do have to give this book 4 out of 5 stars. If you want to go ahead and purchase the book, I will include links in the description below on where to purchase. And on that note, I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with all your book-loving friends. Thanks again for tuning in. If you like what I do here, you can also become a supporter on Buy Me a Coffee, Ko-fi, Patreon, or by purchasing one of my handmade candles on my Etsy store. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.